One of the most interesting things that we do when we get hurt, rejected, when the person we love does not love us back in the same way, we wait. We stay available, even friends, because maybe one day they'll finally see the light. Of course, you're not doing this intentionally. You're just being a good person, a good friend. You are an adult. You can handle yourself. You can handle your emotions. You can handle his laundry.
Did someone tell you to do his laundry?
You can handle being there for them whenever they need you, even though they might be building a life with someone else, because that's what a mature person does. Forgives.
He cheated on you, but you stayed friends.
And then you start wondering, what the fuck are you doing? Why are you doing this to yourself? Why can't you get the happy ending? Why do you need to be cursed with this bad love and potentially stay single forever? Meet Iris Simpkins, a woman who has lived this loop for 3 miserable years.
I've been cursed by being in love with a man who does not and will not love me back.
Now, was it a curse? Being rude to the wrong homeless person can be tricky. Was it the fact that Jasper always gave her just enough to never move on?
Hi, Simky.
Hi.
Or was it simply because she didn't make that choice for herself?
If you need me.
In the end, it doesn't really matter. Because the only thing that will actually make a difference is when you stop waiting to be picked and start deciding what do you want. And when you don't get it, you walk away.
I've got a life to start living.
So we're gonna take Iris from the iconic Christmas movie, The Holiday. We're gonna go through her journey and we're gonna see how did she get stuck? What did she have to learn about herself and others? And how did she finally stop waiting for permission to move on and make that choice herself? So we can do better. Now, Iris reveals the problem real quick. She is someone who eats, drinks, lives, and breathes love.
Amazed by its sheer power to alter and define our lives.
And Beth, she is not wrong. Who you love and who loves you back can make your life better or it can make it worse. The problem is when we believe that we don't get a choice in what kind of love are we gonna have. Iris herself believes that love just happens to her. And she keeps on getting the short end of the stick. She falls into the group of the unlucky ones. Those who fall in love with someone, give everything, but they never receive the same back. The cursed ones.
We are the victims of the one-sided affair.
And it sucks. Yeah, it's always comforting when we can delegate our problems to someone or something else. This mindset actually cost her the last 3 years of her life. The worst Christmases, the worst birthday, crying herself to sleep night after night. Saying, I am choosing to stay in situations that hurt me is obviously a little loco. Okay, it does not feel good to say that. But what we usually say is, I just keep attracting the wrong people. I can't help how I feel. The heart wants what it wants, or the queen of them all. There's this energy. Tell me you're watching tarot card videos without telling me you're watching tarot card videos. And look, I've been there. You can hear all about it in this video. It's old, but insightful. The moment Iris decides that she is the cursed one, she also stops seeing herself as someone who gets to decide. The only decision she made is to break it off with Jasper. Best believe when she found out that he's been hooking up with Sarah from the 19th floor at the same time when she was thinking they are madly in love.
Which is when I stopped shagging him.
She stopped auditioning for syphilis. But instead of actually cutting contact with him, she waits.
No, all we do now is we email.
She ends it technically, but she never really leaves. They still email. They still share an occasional lunch. They still talk for hours on the phone.
Also when he's not with her.
She even keeps a Christmas gift for him in her office just in case. And sure, it's easy to look at Iris and think like, oh my God, she is so pathetic. But I most definitely did the whole, I stand up for myself, I cut it off, and then I wait for him to make a move. And Jasper gives her just enough to keep the hope alive.
Why are you so great?
Enough for her to feel blessed again. Is the curse lifted? Now she knows that this is pathetic. She knows that this keeps hurting her. But the heart wants what it wants. And you know what they say? Awareness is the first step to recovery. The problem is that often it's also the only step we take because it feels like we're already doing something if we know about it, right? We have control even though nothing really changes. Iris still lets Jasper decide how miserable or not miserable she will be. And even when Iris decides that she needs to go on a little vacay, she needs to go across the world to get away from this whole shit show.
We engage Sarah Smith Alcott and Jasper Bloom.
She still somehow asks Jasper for permission. Jasper, we both know I need to fall out of love with you. Would be great if you would let me try. So what changes? What finally makes Iris act as someone who gets to decide what kind of love will she have? Well, she gets on a plane. She ends up 5,000 miles away from home, house swapping with a stranger in LA. And there she meets two people who help her on this journey of growth. First up, Arthur. And Arthur gave her game. So Arthur is a retired Hollywood screenwriter and he lives next door to the house Iris is staying at. Now he is in his 90s, he lives alone, and him and Iris start a friendship. So one night when they're at dinner, he hits her with something that makes Iris shook a little bit.
I can tell, are a leading lady, but for some reason, you're behaving like the best friend.
And not only did Arthur shook Iris, he also shook every woman who ever played a best friend in her own life and didn't even realize it.
I've been going to a therapist for 3 years. She's never explained anything to me that well.
When people usually give you advice when you're in a bad situation, they say things like, you deserve better. You should just leave him. Why are you still talking to him? And it doesn't really work because you're still trying to answer the question, is he worth it or is he not worth it? Which kind of makes him the center of the problem or the situation. And usually you find a way to justify why he is worth in some way. It's complicated, but he's not always like that. You don't know him the way I do. But the way Arthur says it, he actually forces a different question. Doesn't matter what this person does or doesn't do, how are you showing up for yourself? Are you treating yourself like someone who gets to decide, or are you just waiting? That one hits differently, and maybe that's why we avoid it. Now, knowing something is different than actually doing it. And sometimes simply because what the F does it even mean? Act like a leading lady. Okay. So also Arthur doesn't just say what needs to be said, but he also gives her homework. Old classic Hollywood movies.
Every movie he's told me to see has this powerhouse woman in it.
A woman with gumption. Someone who knows what she wants and she goes after it. Sometimes we genuinely do not know what is possible. If she never saw that there are women who have agency and how that looks like, it's difficult for her to imagine that she can have it also. And that's why role models are a thing. And in her case, it's the representation of women in old movies. Now, I'm not going to pretend that a lot of representations of women in movies did fuck us up and things need to change. But we also can't deny that it does have an impact. It did have an impact you growing up when you saw a confident person on TV. Like this, Buffy was my girl. Kicking vampire ass, don't even. Or Xena. Don't tell me you weren't walking through forest and feeling a badass. Now, while Arthur gave Iris her game, he also gave her something more. Maybe even more significant. He showed her that she can meet new people and those people will appreciate her for who she is and treat her the right way. We know that Iris lives her life believing that love will determine how miserable or not miserable she will be. And this friendship with Arthur is showing her that happiness can be achieved with non-romantic relationships. But even more than that, he also showed her that there is such a thing of equal give and take. Their friendship is very simple. She shows up for him, he shows up for her. She takes him to dinner, he gives her the leading lady inside. She helps him prepare for an award ceremony, he introduces her to his friends, and they have a nice evening together. The exchange is kind of balanced, and if you contrast it with her relationship with Jasper, there the balance was not balancing. While she gives, being emotionally available, helps him with his work, gives him a thoughtful gift, he gives her compliments when he needs something.
You know, I'm a little survival kid.
Maybe she's been in that dynamic for so long that she doesn't even know anymore what does it mean to have an equal give and take, and that that's even possible. Friendship, family is how you allow to be treated, and how you treat others will become the norm. So pay attention, how are you building that norm? Now, maybe you are someone who has no problem in the world outside of love. You have great friendships, you are active, you are social, but when it comes to love, that's when things are kind of like, wah, wah, wah.
Non-smoker. Single.
That's when you're like, Biz, what the F is happening? Okay, I have all of these great things. Why can't I also have a great partner? I'm not, I don't know. The only thing that I can kind of see is that maybe you're separating the two things. You have certain expectations in friendships while you're not kind of doing the same in romantic relationships. Now, the reason could be that you genuinely don't believe you deserve good love, or maybe you are driven by certain goals when it comes to romance, and that fuck up the whole situation. We talked about it in my last video on, Miss Carrie Bradshaw and her stuckness with Big, but the result is kind of the same. You forgot that friendship and relationships go one in one. The same basic things you expect from friends, respect, care, consistency, is also what you should expect from a relationship. I mean, don't we all say that the best relationships are the ones that come 2 in 1, a best friend and a lover? A very interesting example when it comes to how we stay closed in our own beliefs is a fly that gets stuck with trying to push through a window. Okay, a fly doesn't want to do that. He or she just wants to go outside. But this fly, because she's so stuck in going in this direction, never actually turns around and realizes that the door is wide open on the other side. I don't know if that makes sense, but to me that is kind of like, oh, I get it. The second person that helped Iris on her journey in developing gumption is Miles. And if Arthur showed Iris that she has a choice, Miles showed her what she has been choosing. So Miles is a music composer for movies, and he's an assistant of an ex of a owner of the house. We don't need to go into details. Miles is in a relationship himself, and we quickly learn that also his dynamics are a little sus.
I do not know what she sees in me, but I know I'm the luckiest guy in the world.
Clearly, Miles falls into the group of people who never feel good enough with the person they are with. Now, unfortunately or fortunately for him, everything kind of comes to an end when one day Miles is hanging with Iris in a movie rental thingy, and Maggie, his girlfriend, who is supposed to be on a location filming, is passing by, being a little too mushy with another guy. He's devastated, and Iris feels for him. She knows how it feels to be replaced, to be rejected by the person you love.
Why am I attracted to a person I know isn't good?
Now, this is something Iris knows the answer to. You see, Miles, similar as Iris, hopes that he is wrong and that Maggie is, in fact, a good person. And every time she shows him the opposite, she does something wrong, he ignores it. But when she comes around, when she surprises him with something good, she wins him all over again.
And you lose that argument with yourself, that she's not for you.
And as much as this is true, right? It's almost like, what Iris is saying is something that many of us have done. And it sounds logical. It sounds like, well, yeah, it sucks. What am I supposed to do if I keep hoping that you are a better person? I think we miss to see that the problem is that we have an argument with ourselves in the first place. That we are in a situation when we keep fighting with our gut, common sense, and what we want to believe. It's noise. It's noise that prevents you from actually having a healthy relationship and recognizing that this is maybe not it. When things are good, you're in it. You're building it. You're not constantly asking yourself, is it worth building it? Oh my God, now they showed me that we shouldn't build it together. Oh, but look, they showed me again that we should. First, calm down, okay? Take a breath. Have some chocolate. Walk away.
I can't believe a girl like that would actually be with a guy like me.
And again, also what Miles is saying is something that many of us have found themselves in. You almost feel grateful that someone like that chose you. Now, not to go too deep in this, and if you watch any of my videos on Miss Carrie Bradshaw, then you already know this dynamic. But a lot of times when we don't feel worthy, we pick people who we perceive are out of our league because that makes us feel valuable. And you then tolerate a lot of bullshit because leaving this person wouldn't mean that you're leaving them. It would mean that you're losing your value. This moment between Miles and Iris is actually one of the most raw and vulnerable moments for Iris because she, for the first time, opens up about her struggle with Jasper to someone else and also admits that some part of her is still hoping that he is gonna choose her again. She talks about how it doesn't really matter how many new haircuts you're going to get or how many gyms you're going to join or how many girls' nights will you have. You will still, at the end of the day, go back home and go through every detail wondering what you did wrong. But sometimes, despite everything feeling so hopeless, things will start to shift.
You'll go somewhere new and you'll meet people who make you feel worthwhile again. And little pieces of your soul will finally come back.
She also shares with Miles how Jasper keeps in touch with her because, he needs her. And there is this sense of knowing that it's ridiculous, but also how she can then just reject him, which to Miles is very clear that this is just a perfect thing for Jasper.
So that makes it impossible to forget him, which is great for him, but sucks for you.
When someone doesn't want to commit to you, and yet they keep in contact, despite you thinking that that's because they can't really let go and so on, if it actually hurts you, you need to understand that they are there because it costs them nothing to be there. Why would they cut the cord when this cord is supplying them without any effort? I have no idea if that makes sense, but I know you know what I mean. Okay? Yes, we got each other. Now, instead of this becoming a night where the two of them are drinking wine and feeling sorry for themselves, Miles wants to flip things around. Enough is enough. They are gonna make a nice dinner for themselves. They're gonna sit on the patio. They're gonna have nice conversations and they are gonna live life. And this, sometimes that's exactly what you need to do. Snap out of it. So their friendship is progressing, and similar to Arthur, also Miles is showing Iris how she can be appreciated without needing to give something. He wants to spend time with her. He wants to share things just because she is who she is, not because she is useful to him or because she gives him something or whatever. And he also expresses this in one of his songs.
I used only the good notes.
So up to this point, Iris is getting new insights. She is learning about the importance of non-romantic relationships and how they are also a source of happiness. She is learning about equal give and take. She is learning about gumption. And all of this is growth, right? Yeah, not exactly. Because if there's one thing that I learned in my own journey of growth and understanding why do I do what I do and how should I fix it, nothing really changes until you are faced with the same freaking situation, but you make the different choice. That's when the click happens, when you pass that test. And best believe, the test will come. For Iris, it came during her lunch break. And yes, poor woman can't even have break when it's legally required. Miles and Iris are actually having lunch together. And at this point, they've been vibing. They've been maybe even flirting a little bit, right? They kind of get each other and they are connecting, I guess. But what is that? Maggie is back. She is calling Miles and he is a little bit shooken.
She misses me.
You see, she came to her senses.
I mean, on one hand, what is she supposed to do? Is she supposed to say to Miles, don't be tricked? At the end of the day, he needs to make that decision for himself. But what does show was that Iris is still needing a little bit more gumption to pass that test is how she reacts after Miles leaves to meet Maggie. She is devastated. She is hurt. It's almost like her old belief comes back. You see, while other people get their happy ending, she is just not one of the lucky ones. She goes home, and despite all the growth that she experienced, all the learning, being shown that she is worthy and she shouldn't take shit from people who don't appreciate her, she goes back to being useful to the one man who never really chose her. You see, her first morning in LA, after asking Jasper to let her forget him, he had to call her for a little favor because, she's the only one who can do it.
Jasper.
He's writing a new book and, he needs some expertise. So he sent her some pages for proof reading.
I know that you're the only one who can really help me.
To be fair, Iris wasn't really excited about this little request, but at the end of the day, what is she supposed to do?
If you need me.
Though with everything that was happening, meeting Arthur, meeting Miles, and having a good time, she didn't really have the time to read those pages, nor was she really wanting to. But right now, after being rejected, after that old belief kicking back in, she's ready to be there again for Jasper. That's because there's a difference between being shown that you are worthy and believing it for yourself. Because Iris experienced what it means to be valued. But she didn't really decide that she believes that herself, right? She still needs external proof. And when that proof again disappeared, in this case, Miles going back to Maggie, she went back to feeling worthless. She's still letting other people or circumstances decide how she will feel about herself. And I think this is very common, right? We learn things, we understand, we see, we get how we got hurt and how they are not blah, blah, blah. But then the second you see them or the second they text you or something happens, you kind of get pulled back. So how do you even go from, let's say, believing it or thinking you believe it and actually acted in that way is when you make the right decision, even when it's hard. Even when everything is screaming, just go back. When you take that moment and you make the choice that feels the most uncomfortable, but it's actually good for you, that's when you start building that trust in yourself. And often, a big change won't just happen from today till tomorrow. And often, it won't even happen in the same situation, but you can start building it in different ways. You commit that you are gonna stretch every morning you wake up and you do it, right? That's how you build that trust that you do what is good for you. Or you stick with your opinion, even though you're kind of, because you just don't want people to be mad at you in some way. Those are like small ways that we can build trust in ourselves so then we can also make big decisions. I'm going to give you the stupidest example possible of how I did my small steps. Google. There was a time and place where I couldn't make a freaking decision without checking with Google what does he recommend? And today we have ChatGPT, which is even, another level. You don't even understand how easy it is to delegate decision-making to someone else and lose that your whole life is now dependent on how other people tell you should live. So, pay attention. Luckily, though, for Iris, things are not over. She will have a chance for a redo. Because bis, Jasper be there. Oh, yeah.
Found your Christmas present.
What's that? Did he finally get it? Has he been struck by light? Jasper flew from UK to LA to meet her. What a gesture. Except that she did ask him to give her space, and he already crossed that boundary once.
Would it be awful if I'd send you some pages?
And that's the thing with people like Jasper. Those who hurt you, who know that you want more, that you are still hopelessly in love with them, but they're not planning to give that commitment to you or give you anything more, yet they stick around. That's the type that simply figured you out. They understood how to give you just enough to stay and still accept breadcrumbs. Jasper figured that Iris's love language is words of affirmation.
Is it fun having a brain that works that fast? Why are you so great? Well, you are my little survival kit.
And he knows that even if he hurts her over and over again, Iris will still be there as long as he says, I need you.
If you need me.
People like Jasper are not capable of respecting someone else's boundaries because they never had to. And that's precisely the reason why they keep you around. Jasper keeps Iris around because she allows him to cross those boundaries. Jasper didn't fly from UK to LA because he finally chose her and he wants to be with her. He flew in because, well, it's a little bit suspicious that she hasn't really checked those pages yet. Like, what's going on? I'm used to you putting me on the first spot, so let's make sure you be in check. So he does what he knows will work. He compliments her.
It suits you.
Yeah, right.
He confuses her. Where does she stand? Because 1 second he was just getting engaged to another person, and now he is here declaring that he missed her.
Oh, Jasper, I really don't understand this.
Now the thing is that people can change, people can suddenly realize things, and Iris is in a little bit of a pickle. She was just hit with the old belief that she's just the one who is cursed in love. And look at this.
Know that I hated when you were gone. It was driving me crazy that I wasn't hearing from you.
What about if this is the proof that she actually needs? The universe is finally showing her that she's not cursed in love. This is the moment she was waiting for. This was the man she was waiting for, and he finally chose her. They're now on the couch and they are cuddling. And as we say in Slovenian, Jasper prodaja bučke. He is selling her pumpkins. Is that a saying also in English? Let me know in the comments below. He is talking about how they could go and travel somewhere together, Venice, yadida. And Iris feels like this is everything she ever wanted, just for the two of them to live a happy life. She almost kisses him, but then she's kind of like, wait a second, boy.
Are you not with Sarah anymore?
Iris, why do you need to make things difficult? Can't you just understand that he is struggling?
I mean,
Oh my God.
He flew across half of the world to offer her nothing. Second place, a mistress. He didn't change. Nothing about the situation changed. But luckily, Iris got some clarity. And she is ready to serve.
You have never treated me right, ever.
oh, babe.
Shush!
He even broke her heart and then acted like somehow it was her fault. She misunderstood, and she was so in love with him that she couldn't even be mad at him for it.
Twisted, toxic thing between us. It's finally finished.
Finito. And he can get out. Out. Jasper is a little confused. What in the bipolar is going on here? What has gotten into Iris? This is not normal.
I think what I've got is something slightly resembling gumption.
And we all feel proud of Iris. She has finally made the different choice and put in place everything that she learned so far. That's the thing with people that you are stuck with, or that keep you stuck, that keep you in this vague thing, push and pull and so on. They will probably always do the same things they always done, right? They figured you out, so they're just sending you the same vague text, the same I miss you that never leads anywhere. Waiting for them to change so you can be better, so you can be happier, is not going to happen. It's about what are you doing? Are you still accepting the same breadcrumbs? Are you still waiting? Are you still just hoping? Or are you actually making different choices and acting like a main character in your own life? Someone who gets to decide what they want, and if they don't get it, they walk away.
I like corny. I'm looking for corny in my life.
Now, before I say my to-dos, I want to just give my 2 cents on the Miles situation. The movie ends with Iris and Miles coming together because, that's what movies do. And in real life, sure, totally possible. The first guy you meet after you finally start choosing yourself might be the perfect match for you, right? You treat each other well and so on. But most likely, some time needs to pass for you to be comfortable with choosing yourself. And on the flip side, Miles himself wasn't really shown as someone who I would say, yes, go with him. Not the best representation. He was a little bit too close to Iris while he was still in a relationship.
Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to kiss you twice and then linger a long time.
I feel like it was my responsibility to say that here, okay? Okay. And remember, being the leading lady or the main character of your own life starts with trusting your individuality and connecting authentically. Ta-da-da! Bye-bye!